caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop. I am your host, Michael Calderese. We are your defense mechanism here of all things Minnesota all the time. Fuck Minnesota. Can we say it collectively, please? I'm so fucking tired of hearing about Minnesota. It is Minnesota, and it's still Minnesota. And while Trump is talking into Davos, we have the kid, in Congress with another dog and pony show that gets nothing accomplished. But we are not going to talk about that godforsaken, cold, ridiculous, corrupt state. I'm done talking about Minnesota. Today we had something way better, in my opinion, take place. And if you did not see Trump's Davos speech, fear not, because we're going to break an hour and a half down of him just rambling about stuff. And it wasn't really rambling. I said that wrong. It wasn't rambling. It was unbelievably clear, concise, go fuck yourself. And it was amazing. Amazing to the point where it's 6 degrees out. We're watching it this morning. We're having our coffee. And my wife is laughing at him. At one point, I had to go to the bathroom. She called me while I was in the bathroom. Yes, it takes that long. But she called me while I was in the bathroom to laugh at something Trump has said. We're going to get to that in a second. But this Davos, this speech was so incredible that it's probably going to be the majority of the show. I have that with a bunch of other news headlines, but there was so much to this speech. If you didn't listen to it, he gives you a lot. And the best part about it is how he treats and how he goes at these world leaders. So let's not even waste time and get the show started with hopefully some humor in all of this. With the mics right, shut the fuck up and listen. All right, so Trump at Davos. The World Economic Forum. From the beginning, he was full Trump, hardcore Trump. I mean, the handshake, pull the fucking leaders in really close with the eye contact staring at them. The I own the room stance, the way he just walks up there, and he wasn't even loud. He was quiet. But that handshake, that isn't a greeting. It's a dominance test. Can I yank you towards me? And will you yank me? A scorpion would say in Mortal Kombat, get over here. But I got to say, Trump is not a politician. Donald Trump is a stand-up comedian who was at a Tom Brady roast. I mean, the dude doesn't speak, he performs. Every pause seems intentional. Every face is a bit, almost. Every sentence is 100% said with purpose. And that purpose there was to make fun of everyone to their faces. Watching him walk into Davos was like watching a Christian preacher uncle crash a family trans furry wedding and grabbing the mic and letting everybody know that they're going to hell. And these world leaders are just sitting there, all polished, all rehearsed, reading from their cue cards. And Trump just walks in like, all right, losers, let me explain while you are all retarded. Why you are all retarded. And there's something beautiful, almost biblical, about a sitting U.S. president walking into a room full of global elites and telling them to their faces, you're dumb. Your policies are dumb. And your countries are falling apart. And you're welcome for America. That was that was one of my favorites. I mean, no notes. I mean, he was ad-libbing. No apology tour. No global partnership. Just raw, unfiltered America First energy. At one point, he basically looked at the UK and did his best Vince Vaughn impression. It's like, now's not the time to point fingers, but you're a real problem. That wasn't diplomacy. That was a Wedding Crashers monologue. It was legit half-baked energy. It's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you, I'm out. And he meant it. Then he starts telling tariff stories like they are bar fights. It's like, yeah, Sweden's prime minister, she rubbed me the wrong way, so I raised tariffs. And then he just sits there laughing with that shit-eating grin on his face like he just stole their dessert. That's not trade policy. That's big brother behavior. I didn't like her tone, so boom, I put tariffs on her. He's like, then he really went in on her. So she started crying. She called me back crying. Afterwards, I felt bad, so I dropped the tariffs. I couldn't help it. She cried like my newest grandbaby. Well, not my grandbaby. My grandbaby sounds beautiful. No, it was ugly sounding. It was more like an ugly grandbaby, like her own grandbabies. And Macron wore it. Trump tells this whole negotiation story about, like, while doing the Macron voice. It's like, oh, no, Donald, you cannot do that. Please. Wine and cheese. Please, Donald. I will suck your... I mean, using the weakest sounding voice that he could possibly make, all with this Frenchie watching. And you couldn't even be mad at it. You just had to start laughing. I know I was, because Trump doesn't give a shit. He bullies with confidence, and I love it. And everyone got a piece. Everyone. Canada caught smoke. Denmark caught smoke. China caught smoke. Russia caught smoke. Greenland certainly caught smoke. A place with like 6 people and polar bears. But Trump, loves the bears and the people of Greenland. He made sure to go around the world telling them all how stupid they were. And while he's roasting them, he's ripping their policies apart as moronic. Your energy policy made by retards. Your immigration policy made by invading retards. Your defense policy made by weak retards. And you can't even protect yourselves without us. And wind turbines, maybe the most retarded of them all. Oh, you love them, right? That's cute, he said. Now China's laughing at you. That line was hysterical. He's like, you think you're saving the planet, so China's making these turbines while they're burning coal and counting your money. And China can't believe how dumb and pathetic losers are buying these things. They can't even believe it while there's no wind turbines in China. That's not rhetoric. That's reality. But then he keeps going and going and going. America's strong and you're weak. America's winning and you're failing. America's women are hot. Yours are like Rosie O'Donnell. And by the way, you only exist because of us. He basically told them, you only have money because America lets you have money. You're safe because America pays for it. And you're loud because America tolerates it. That's gangster. No guilt, no apologies, no climate tears. Just, you owe us everything. And worst of all, you're ungrateful retards. Now call me daddy. He really said that. They call me daddy. But of course, there was Greenland. The line that he used on Greenland was the best of the night. Make a deal or we will remember. That wasn't policy. That was a mob boss reminder. A promise. He walked into the room, closed the door behind him, and said, now yous can't leave. So love Trump or hate him, that's just boss behavior. This man walked into the most elite globalist room on earth and said, this whole thing is stupid. Your ideas are stupid. And America's back, bitches. And here's the thing that kills him the most. He's right, and he always has been. He's having fun while they're miserable. He's cracking jokes at their expense while they're collapsing. And he's bragging. And that's why they hate him. Because he doesn't fear them. He doesn't need them. And he definitely doesn't respect their fake moral authority. So now Trump, I'm going to say this with a lot of love. Please do this at home. Because us real Americans deserve that same energy. You could tell Davos to pound sand. If you could do that, you could tell Washington the exact same. And I'm talking to members on both sides. That's the mic's right. Hope you listened. All right, so I don't know if you heard that, but my dog is outside, and I think my daughter and her little friend are with my son, and I think my dog is outside, and I can't let him sit outside. So we are going to honestly, hey, no offense, sorry, but I got to let him in. All right, everybody, do you have a teenage girl? Do you have teenage girls that have teenage friends at home and they have a responsibility to let a dog in and let a dog out, and they can never do it? Well, that is my life. That's what happens when I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 9-month-old at home. That is for damn sure. Let's check out the chat. And what do you think? Tell me what you thought about my monologue in the chat. Let me tell you something. We're going to be talking a lot about Davos because this was fucking hysterical. I have a lot of Trump here. And I want to show you what we're talking about. We're going to start off with how Trump just walked into the room, okay? This is how this whole thing started. It's funny because with the news, when I was going through the different news broadcasts, some actually followed him like from his plane, or from the helicopter. He gets down, he's walking on they rolled out some red carpet on him. It's icy as fuck, right? He's walking out and he has that like lurching, like Trump is a lurcher. You ever notice that? Like he kind of has that, I don't fucking know, but he lurches over people and he has that lurching personality. And this is him just walking into the room, and watch the pull. He gets the handshake and it's like a fucking reflex, reaches out and rips you the fuck in and then whispers in your ear like, yeah, bitch, what do you got? See what I'm talking about? Dude just kind of lurches, but that one dude almost came up on his toes. Like he had to kind of adjust his feet, and you saw him kind of sit back in his heels a little bit, trying to pull back from Trump. If Trump was not the president, I would say he could get into arm wrestling because he seems to be able to just yank everybody. It doesn't really mean who they are. And he started off his Davos speech like this.
Very much, Larry. It's great to be back in beautiful Davos, Switzerland, and to address so many respected business leaders, so many friends, few enemies, and all of the distinguished guests. It's a who's who, I will say that.
Little laugh. You got a little laugh at him. If you notice, though, when he walked up, he didn't have it wasn't a really big, round of applause. So I think Trump knew exactly kind of like what venue he was kind of speaking to. But what do you notice about Trump? He even says my enemies. He acknowledges these people. Right off the bat, he's setting the tone that I am here to fuck with you. And this literally went on for an hour and a half. And he immediately, one of the things that I love about Trump, and this is when, part of what an American president to me should be doing is being our biggest cheerleader. cheerleading how great we are, not apologizing to the world, but being our cheerleader, talking about America's doing this, America's doing that. We're the best because of this reason. We're the best because of that reason. You want to do business with us because we're fucking awesome. And he immediately, and this is like one of the best things that Trump did, is he cheerleads for us. And he cheerleads in funny, in comical ways. I said it in my monologue. This guy's like, he has comedians, he has comedians like writing his speech. Because he starts off talking America with what his biggest surprise is. And this is it.
World. And this is all great news, and it's great for all nations. The USA is the economic engine on the planet. And when America booms, the entire world booms. It's been the history. When it goes bad, it goes bad. You all follow us down, and you follow us up. And we're at a point that I don't believe we've ever been. I never thought we could do it this quickly. My biggest surprise is I thought it would take more than a year, maybe like a year and 1 month.
I didn't know it was going to be this quick. You know, we're at least a month ahead of schedule. 1 whole month. And hey, that's how Trump rolls, man. We finish everything on budget and on schedule. And before schedule, honestly, that it's fucking great. But he gets into these things and he goes into a lot, okay? I have so many videos. I'm trying to kind of work through all of these, right? So he starts talking at first. He does like a general thing, like America's fucking awesome, and you guys suck, and you don't even realize it. And here's him starting to get on the world leaders about how the world leaders don't recognize how stupid and how dumb their policies actually are.
By the largest wave of mass migration in human history. We've never seen anything like it. And trade deficits and a growing sovereign deficit, driven by the largest wave of mass migration in human history. We've never seen anything like it. Quite frankly, many parts of our world are being destroyed before our very eyes, and the leaders don't even understand what's happening. And the ones that do understand aren't doing anything about it. Virtually all of the so-called experts predicted my plans to end this failed model would trigger a global recession and runaway inflation. But we have proven them wrong. It's actually just the opposite.
So did you hear what he said there? Trump said, you guys, you're falling apart and you really don't even realize it. Now, what he's saying to these people is he's warming up the whole fact that I am going to completely rip into you. And before he did that, he gets into Greenland, okay? Because if you watch like the whole arc of this thing, it's like an opening statement of we're fucking awesome, you guys suck. But first, before I tell you as much as about how much you suck, we're going to talk about Greenland. And he had a lot to say about Greenland. Here's 18 seconds. I have them all labeled like 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go through them pretty quick. Because, listen, there's a lot of substance. He laid out a perfect reasoning on why, and it wasn't just why Greenland's important. He laid out the historical context of Greenland and how we just gave Greenland back like a bunch of morons. We should have just kept it years ago. And Denmark, you really owe us Greenland. This whole thing was talking about how I'm not asking for Greenland. You fucking owe us Greenland. Listen how he starts.
More clear than what's currently going on with Greenland. Would you like me to say a few words of Greenland? I was going to leave it out of the speech, but I think I would have been reviewed very negatively.
So did you hear that? I mean, Greenland to me, and I just had to let my dog back out again. They're actually my family is killing me. He was banging on the door the entire time. But what did you hear about what Trump said? Greenland is something that is of national importance in our hemisphere. We control the hemisphere. And then he goes on to tell Norway that not only can they not defend it, you needed us to win it back for you. Check this one out.
Negatively. I have tremendous respect for both the people of Greenland and the people of Denmark. Tremendous respect. But every NATO ally has an obligation to be able to defend their own territory. And the fact is, no nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. We're a great power, much greater than people even understand. I think they found that out 2 weeks ago in Venezuela.
You guys can't defend it. You can't defend it. You're weak. You couldn't defend it, and we are the greatest power, and the world found out in Venezuela. I'm playing these for you so you can understand the tone of this entire thing, okay? Because it was probably the most powerful thing I've ever witnessed. From start to finish, just the incredible show of we're America. You're going to go fuck yourselves. You all need us. You all can't live without us, and you can't even protect yourselves. So he started off like that. You cannot protect yourselves. We are the greatest. The whole world just saw, and the whole world is in awe of what we could do. We're going to get to that in a second because I have awesome videos about that. But here's Trump giving a very detailed history from World War II with Greenland and what we did. And this is where he starts beating the drum of you people are ungrateful for everything America has done for you. Check this out.
In World War II, when Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland. So the United States was then compelled, we did it, we felt an obligation to do it, to send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory. And hold it we did, at great cost and expense. They didn't have a chance of getting on it, and they tried. Denmark knows that. We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago,
So there you have it. We have bailed you out through World War II, through all of these things, and we were just stupid as fuck to give it back to you. So now, guess what? I'm here to collect. This was my boss. It was unbelievable, the show of force. And then to top this off, because he went on. I'm playing quick clips. This Greenland was 30 minutes in and of itself, just going in on how only us can protect it. We have a bunch of maniacs over there. We are in de facto going to be taking care of Canada. We're going to get to that in a second because when he starts calling out the world leaders, it was incredible. But it started right here with this line. This line was absolutely fucking phenomenal. This is the type of shit I want out of an American president. And you're going to see the results of this line in a second.
Never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember.
You could say yes, and we would be appreciative. Or you could say no, and we will remember. Listen, man, you know, those are just powerful words. And RJ says, or I should call you, I can't even say your name on Facebook, bro. That's the truth. He says Iceland, Greenland, same thing. It's kind of the same shit. It is. It's the same shit. And then right afterwards, Trump goes like this.
The last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. They called me daddy, right? Last time. A very smart man said, he's our daddy. He's running it. I was like running it. I went from running it to being a terrible human being.
They call me daddy. Let me get my pimp hand out and bitch. Call me daddy, you motherfuckers. Oh man, I absolutely love it. And they did call him daddy. This is the funniest part about this. Because Trump says those things, walks right out of that. We're going to jump around a little bit here, but I want to finish up with Greenland. He walks right out to a reporter, and the reporter immediately starts asking questions about Greenland. Check out these two answers.
I assume he's been speaking to them. He's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? Did the Golden Dome sway people?
I don't want to say yet, but
the Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about that.
Yeah, the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's
forever.
Forever.
It'll be forever.
For Greenland at this point.
Yeah. Forever.
That's staggering.
That's better than a 99.
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal with the famous Iran nuclear deal with a 9-year deal. No, this is forever. This is a long term.
He immediately walks out 2 hours later, and he has a framework of a deal on the table to acquire Greenland and other Arctic territory. And the guy's like, is there a timetable? Yeah, it's going to be forever. Forever deal. It's one of those deals. He said it with that lurching confidence. Forever. Oh, man, this guy, it's just so, I can't even tell you how funny that I think he is. This shit just has me laughing nonstop. It really, really does have me laughing just nonstop. And then Trump, you know, when you talk about the way he is and the way he acts, when you look at that speech, it was clearly aimed to get Greenland. With everything we just showed you. This is the difference between a deal maker and somebody like Biden, or even somebody like Obama, or even someone like Bush, if we're being honest with each other, who goes out there, you know, like has no idea really how to negotiate with these people. Then you have Obama going and kissing rings. Then you have Biden like laying on the beach, not negotiating with anybody, not talking to anybody, not even being president. This guy walks in with a plan saying, I'm going to roast everybody. I'm going to tell you how ungrateful you are, and then I'm going to get Greenland from you. And I wouldn't be surprised if in a week we have full control over Greenland. Like a month? What do you give this now? Put it in the chat. How long do you give this after you figure the shit out of my like button? Do you give that we are going to have complete total control over that area and other Arctic territories? So again, I mean, this just goes to what I've been telling you guys, that Donald Trump. Hello, all. I love it in the other chat. Donald Trump is doing what he can to secure America's future worldwide. He knows that inside this country is absolutely fucking ridiculous, but he wants to go worldwide and make sure that he has a setup to where our dealings with the world will forever be impacted by what he's doing right now. I'm telling you, that's the only reason that makes sense to me, that he's not here more yelling at our fucking Congress. I think he knows those people are feckless. I think he knows when he goes to Davos and he's not at the State of the Union with the jerk-offs like, yay, my God. And then half the room booing and half the room standing every 4 fucking words. No, he goes to Davos. He has complete silence to just rip into these motherfuckers. And he went in to everything. Let's get into Venezuela. So this is Donald Trump. This is when, to me, it started getting really funny. Because tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy right now. But it sounds like Trump just recommended that other people start stealing world leaders.
Money that they've made it a long time. Venezuela is going to do fantastically well. We appreciate all of the cooperation we've been giving. We've been giving great cooperation. Once the attack ended, and they said, let's make a deal. More people should do
that. More people should do that. How did you take that? How did you take it? Because I took that as more people should start stealing other presidents. It worked really well. We stole them, and then we made a deal immediately after that. And what's crazy about that is Trump actually went into the weapons of war. Okay, he was talking about our attack on Venezuela. And I want you to listen to what he says now, because anybody that's in the military, tell me what type of weaponry, if you can, that he is actually talking about here. Okay? Because this was like, once again, the whole Davos speech went from him bragging to making fun of people to bragging to making fun of people. But this was him bragging about our military capability. And when we stole Maduro, this is why we didn't have one casualty. Listen to this.
Ever before, because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess.
What the hell is going on? I don't know. Did they have obviously some type of jamming capability? Did they got a hold of Chinese and Russian technology? I don't know. But that, to me, that's incredibly telling. Everyone was wondering how we pulled that off with such precision. Well, can you imagine if we came in there, jammed all of their equipment to the point where they just couldn't use it? We ran in, got everybody. They had no communications. That's why they probably were able to get Maduro without getting into a safe room, because they probably jammed all of his communications. Their cell phones probably didn't even work. Their radios may not have worked. That's fucking bad ass to me that we have that type of capability, and a president that's willing to use it and then willing to rub it in their faces after he uses it. But let's get to this, because when he started going in on all of these people, it was great. So this was the part I referenced about Canada. Trump was basically talking about a part of why he needed Greenland. And in the part, it somehow talking about the Golden Dome, he looked over at the Canadian Prime Minister and really let him subtly have it. And it was very interesting. Listen to the choice of words here.
And to keep our very energetic and dangerous potential enemies at bay, is this land on which we're going to build the greatest Golden Dome ever built. We're building a Golden Dome that's going to, just by its very nature, going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements. What we did for Israel was amazing, but that's nothing compared to what we have planned for the United States, Canada, and the rest of the world. We are going to build a dome like no other. We did it We did it for Israel. And by the way, I told Bibi, stop taking credit for the dome. That's our technology. That's our stuff. But that
touched on Bibi, touched on Mark. Mark, remember that shit the next time you're talking about this, right? It reminds me of that movie where it's like Joe Pesci and Robert the fucking shithead De Niro, and it's like, listen to me, you Jew fuck. You only exist because of me. You Jew motherfucker, you. Oh, man. Awesome. But did you hear the words? You only exist here because of us. Now you want to sit here and start making deals with China like they're going to come and protect you? You could stub your nose up at us because we're your neighbors. And you know we're making deals in our best interest. And ipso facto, you're just going to bask in that shit. But you're making deals with China and not America because you're a bunch of little whiny pricks? Everyone says Canada's so nice. I don't think so. I don't think they're very nice. I think they're a bunch of assholes to me. Let's get into Macron, because the Macron stuff was very funny. If I could actually even find it, where did I put Macron? I thought it was right next to this golden dome, but apparently it was not. Oh, here it is. This is Trump telling a story about Macron and then morphing that into how everybody is screwing us. Listen to this.
Emmanuel, you're going to be doubling or tripling? No, no, no. I said, here's the story, Emmanuel. The answer is you're going to do it. You're going to do it fast. And if you don't, I'm putting a 25% tariff on everything that you sell into the United States and a 100% tariff on your wines and champagnes. And that's about 10 times more than what I'm requesting. And you're going to do it. I don't want to go public with it, but you may make me do that. No, no, Donald, I will do it. I will do it. It took me, on average, 3 minutes a country saying the same thing. You will do it. They all said, no, 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 I will not do it. You're asking me to double the cost of prescription. I said, that's right, because you've been screwing us for 30 years. And they said, we will not do it. I said, that's all right. On Monday morning, we're putting a 25, 30, 50. I gave different numbers for different countries. This is also national security we're talking about. Not fair. We're not going to subsidize the whole world.
Because you've been screwing us. Oh, no, 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 Donald. I cannot do it. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you on all your wines, all your cheeses, every bit of it. Because you fucking people have been screwing us and screwing us and screwing us. And then he moves on to Sweden. And I referenced this and the mic's right, and I have to play it for you. Because watch his little smiling, giggling ass face after he talks about how he raised the tariffs after this conversation.
No tariffs, no nothing. They walk away. They make $41 billion on just us. So I said, no, we can't do that. So I'm going to bring it up. I still would have a deficit pretty substantial, but I brought it up to 30%. And I guess Prime Minister, I don't think President, I think Prime Minister called a woman, and she was very repetitive. She said, no, 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 you cannot do that, 30%. You cannot do that. We are a small, small country. I said, yeah, but you have a big, big deficit. You may be small, but you have a bigger deficit than big countries. He said, no, 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 please, you cannot do it. Kept saying the same thing over and over. We are a small country. I said, but you're a big country in terms of... And she just rubbed me the wrong way, I'll be honest with you. And I said, all right, thank you, ma'am, appreciate it. Do not do this. Thank you very much, ma'am. And I made it 39%. And then all hell really broke out. And I was paid visits by everybody. Rolex came to see me. They all came to see me. But I realized, and I reduced it, because I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt them. And we brought it down to a, lower level. Doesn't mean it's not going up, but we brought it down to a lower level. But they pay now, tariff.
but they pay now. And if you heard all of that, like the pause that he said where, so I brought it to 39 and then all hell really broke loose. So then what happens? Everybody panics and they come to him. This dude, you know, I get on him for some of the policy that he has domestically. But when you look at foreign policy, how to deal with this world, Trump is writing a textbook on how to deal with these people. He is writing a textbook. You cannot schmooze these assholes. You cannot glad hand them. You can't be bowing to fucking Saudi kings and all this shit. Trump walks past and slap these Saudi princes on their shoulders while other people bow to him. It's you know, he is writing an absolute masterclass of how to deal with the world. Because the world, you know, if there's one thing that I think we all realize, and this is like, I'm fighting this locally, you can fight it, you know, nationwide. He's fighting it worldwide for us, is we are the best. And I'm really sick and tired of the whole world needing every last thing from us. But we are the ones that pay for everything. It's the part of the Democrats that I don't fucking understand. Because Trump talked a lot about tariffs in this. And one of the things that he says is, we are going to start taxing, or we are going to stop taxing American businesses and American people, and we're going to start tariffing you foreign countries. I have that video too, but I figured you were maybe tired of seeing Trump talk. I didn't get tired of that whole hour and a half. But the American people that I'm talking about, we want our representation, and we want you guys to start bearing some of the load here. You know, while we see taxes go up and taxes go up and taxes go up, state, locally, everywhere, school board, you name it, prices going up, everything going up, rent, food, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. It's like, when the fuck do we get our piece? When are we done giving money all over the world? Because we don't have it anymore. I'm sick and tired for any single American to have to pay taxes, period. And it's going to subsidize a lot of this bullshit. No. If you want to come in, like what he was saying to Sweden, you've made $41 million off $1 billion. You're $41 billion a year off of America, off of selling your shit in America. And we were charging you nothing for it. They're Rolexes. Is it the people buying Rolexes, is it going to really hurt them to have to pay the fucking tariff? No, why shouldn't America get some of that $41 billion? We're just going to give it all to them? Yeah, we get a little bit of tax. No, tax them. You want to sell that stuff in our country, people want it, great. You're either going to lower your price for the tariff to stay competitive, but when you send in here, we are going to get a piece of what you're sending. I think that makes sense. And it's about time. You know, everything, the best part about this year, and I'm in the process of going through how much do we actually spend versus how much do we take in with this first year. This next year is going to be very interesting too. But we are gonna see if we actually saved money. I want to look into that. Did we actually save money? Did we cut what we actually cut? Because Trump made mention that he cut, what was it, $100 billion in spending, and more to come, and a lot. Listen, there was a lot of claims made, so I'm in the process of going through that. But I'm kind of like, I'm staring at a whole bunch of different things that, and like we could go in a lot of different directions here. So when you look at the American people, like I was saying, I love that he put the onus on the world that they are now going to have to foot the bill for this stuff, and the American people are done doing it. Now, you can make the argument of Venezuela and Iran and all this other shit, and should we be getting involved in that? I don't see how that's in our best interest. Maybe he knows something better than I do. I tell you something. Based on this speech, I'm really not going to, like, foreign policy-wise, Trump has got it figured out. I am not going to really start continuing to nickel and dime a lot of the things that he's doing foreign policy-wise because, man, he's on top of it. I love everything of what I'm seeing with the way these people behave, the way they act. Everyone knows that he is in charge. He is actually the leader of the fucking world. And he acts like it. That's why they fucking hate him. Because he is the actual leader of the world and not some group behind a face of a leader. But where else do we want to go? This was something really cool. Trump on homeowners. Check this one out.
More. Home ownership has always been a symbol of health and vigor of American society, but that goal fell out of reach for millions and millions of people in the Biden era because interest rates went up so high. Today, I'm taking action to bring back this bedrock of the American dream. In recent years, Wall Street giants and institutional investment firms, many of you are here, many of you are good friends of mine, many of you are supporters. Sorry to do this to you, I'm so sorry. But you've driven up housing prices by purchasing hundreds of thousands of single-family homes, and it's been a great investment for them. Often as much as 10% of houses on the market. You know, the crazy thing is a person can't get depreciation on a house, but when a corporation buys it, they get depreciation. Okay, that's something we're going to have to think about, too. I don't know if too many people think about that. You buy a corporation, they buy 500 houses. They buy hundreds of thousands. They buy 500 houses. They can take depreciation. A person sweats and works and buys one house, they can't.
Did you hear that? So, you know, right off the bat, it like dinged in my head. One of the problems that we have in our town, in my town, and I'm sure it's happening around by you, but it's a really big problem in Ocean County, New Jersey, are people buying houses and they put it in an LLC. Now, why is that? Do they get tax write-offs, bigger tax write-offs when it's owned like that? How much is that cheating these towns out of money? Where they get to write it off, but the regular homeowner doesn't get that depreciation on that house. How does this stuff make sense? How is this legal? And how can it be stopped? He said he's going to limit the amount of houses these people could buy. Well, okay, great. That's what these big people. But you also, like, I hate to say this, but you have religions doing this. Are you going to go after them with the same vigor you're going after with some of your high-end friends and high-end investors? And I think that's big. The fact that BlackRock or all these companies own that much of the housing market while housing prices have skyrocketed is a big problem. And yes, I think if we are going to have to take some type of correction in our housing worth. My house is very high as far as value right now. It's probably going to come down, but then guess what? It's going to go back up. But to me, that's just what we're going to have to do. But I love that. So that's protecting the everyday average American. And where was I had one that was he was talking about taxes. And I don't think I could oh, here we go. This is another one for the American people. This is something I love hearing.
Instead of raising taxes on domestic producers, we're lowering them and raising tariffs on foreign nations to pay for the damage that they've caused.
Love it, man. Absolutely love it. I'm going through a couple of these because I took a lot of time. I messed up on 2 videos on the editing, but when there's 32 videos, man, I got to record them. I got to put them out. I'm trying to do my best for you guys. That's for damn sure. But I had all day today. I kind of operate better under the gun. When I'm laying around and working on a computer, I have no like motivation. I have to be out picking shit up and moving and doing all of that stuff. So where do we have anything else? Oh, one more. Listen, this one was very funny. Trump is still saying the 2020 election is rigged. And I want you to listen to the very end of this one, because like, I'm telling you, like when I was listening to this over and over and over again, there are gems in what this guy says. But there's a lot of things that he says that where I think he says so much shit that it's tough to really catch stuff like this. But listen to the very end of this. Listen very closely to the 33 seconds here.
You wouldn't have NATO if I didn't get involved in my first term. The war with Ukraine is an example. We are thousands of miles away, separated by a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started if the 2020 U.S. presidential election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did. It's probably breaking news, but it should be.
That's probably breaking news. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did. Okay. I hope he means real people, right? Like one of the things I think we all want to do, and maybe they were saving these prosecutions for this year. Because if you think about what would be good politics, you don't want to shoot all of your bullets early on. They know that they need something going into these midterms to swing it in their direction. And I'm hoping that they start fulfilling some of the basic promises in year 2. If they go into the midterms with this Epstein shit still over the top of them, it's going to be a real problem. They got to put that shit to bed really fast. But do they start making big time arrests in the middle of next year? You know, March, April, May, something like that, where they're going to start talking about it and going right into prime midterm election season. It's going to be very interesting. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be that would be very good politics, because it might be big enough to push him over, but it could blow up, because if two things, if he says something like that and it goes viral and it says, oh, we're making news, and the news catches it and they go crazy over it and nothing comes out, again, it's going to piss people like me off. So I'm hoping it's not one of those. But we have anything? I think that's about it, man. We had a lot of Trump. But listen, I've given a lot of my thoughts about this. And I got to say, I've watched a lot of politics. I've watched a lot of political speeches, even Trump. I was at January 6th. I mean, I've seen a bunch of these things. I've been following it in depth for a really long time. And I've listened to Trump at Davos before. But that was in his first term. The first time they had Davos, he did it, and he wasn't there in person. This was his first time going back. This, to me, was one of the greatest speeches I've ever seen a president make on the world stage to push America, America's interests, to rub in the faces how much better we are than everybody, to rub in the faces of these countries how much they need us, to put them in a defensive position. Because you know what? I'm sick and tired of this one thought. Like, there's cooperation, but there's also, we are rivals with these people. Some are allies, but we compete against each other in the Olympics, motherfuckers. And this is just the Olympics of politics. And we want the most gold medals. And we got to keep having the most gold medals. And we have to keep on top of the world. And, you know, while we're rioting in Minnesota and all this horse shit, Trump is actually positioning us into the world scene in a major way. If we retake over Panama, Venezuela, if they get that place fucking, can you imagine? If we actually get Venezuela to where we're using their oil and we could free those people, give them a little bit of a free market and a taste of living really good, what that would potentially do for that entire area. Couple that with Milei in Argentina and that dude over there that's fucking locking everybody up, and now it's the safest streets on the planet. I can't pronounce that guy's name, out of El Salvador. You start cracking that area, Now we maybe have less people coming up. Maybe we have people that are shuffling down there. And then we can start immigrating to this country, 1 million people a year that are actually the best people that we need for this country. Then maybe it solves a lot of our issues. Because, you know, when you look at a lot of the problems that America faces on the world stage that affect us like domestically, it's because we're awesome, but it's because those places suck. And I saw one of the best immigration examples in real terms with this professor in glass jars with these gumballs. And every jar represented all of these people from all over the world that were poor as fuck. And it was like 4 billion people that the World Bank said were poor. So poor that they made less than $2 a day. And he was doing these things with gumballs on how we take a couple of gumballs and we take it and they add this amount of gumballs. And it was like a whole nother cup full. We take 2 out, they add a cup. We take another 2 out, they add another cup to this world population that's poor. And he goes, the only way you could ever help these people is in their own countries. If they were better, then we don't have to be dealing with the majority of their problems. Maybe we could deal with some of the good things that come. But listen, man, that Davos thing, I'm sorry to beat you over the head with that, but I felt the need to talk about it because it's going to get buried. A lot of what Trump said there is going to get buried. And nobody is really going to give him the credit that speech deserves on the world stage in front of those people, letting those people know that you are a retard, I'm on top of your shit, and we're better than you. And we know it. You better make a trade deal with me now before I get pissed off. You better not talk to me wrong like that bitch did. We are going to be set up like that speech gives me a lot of confidence that at least America on the world stage is going to be positioned in a very good way. Now, the question going forward is, can the American people get their shit together enough to recognize that we have a real golden opportunity in the future, in the immediate future coming up, to really make our own personal lives better? And are you, if you're new to watching this and you're a real loser like Trump says, but if you have ever wanted to make something of yourself, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the greatest potential to make something of yourself in this country than you ever knew before. And we need more people to start believing that, to start thinking that way. We have to have a positive outlook. We have to have cheerleaders. You have to be a cheerleader for yourself in your own mind, and Trump's a cheerleader for us in front of the world. And, you know, I don't harp on Trump a lot on the show. You guys know this. I will touch on him. I rarely do fucking full-on episodes about him. But this one was worth it. Because I got to tell you something. I have a feeling when they write the history books of my great-grandkids and their great-grandkids, they are going to be learning about the time of Donald Trump. And it is going to be spoken about as really changing the world. Like really on a deep level, did this dude alter the direction of the way this world's going for the next, I'm going to say, at least 40 years after this guy. We're going to be feeling the effects of Trump for a very, very, very long time. And a lot of this stuff, you know, hopefully they don't undo it as soon as he's done. But I think it's going to be, good enough for the countries that they're not going to want to undo what they did here with Trump. That's just my feelings. I don't know, but you could tell me in the chat here. Well, we're right at 9 o'clock. All right, good. That worked out real well. Hey, listen, I hope you enjoyed that. Sometimes we got to do a little deep dive into something like that. You know, it's I was watching this all day long. I was hooked into it. I really couldn't think of anything else. I tried getting into And I watched some of that Minnesota trial with that kid. I'm so tired of Minnesota. Like I said in the beginning of it, I couldn't bring myself to even talk about that anymore. I'm going to say one thing about it, and you're not hearing this by anybody. And this is the problem. I'm going to finalize the show like this. When we're caltrops, this is what we're trying to be. And I tell you all the time to be a caltrop in your own mind. Well, a caltrop is going to realize that it's not fraud. Because when you say fraud, you're minimizing what is actually taking place. This is not fraud. This is organized crime. And politicians and Trump and the DOJ and all you people, you better listen to me. In Minnesota, 15 more Somalis getting arrested is not going to do the job. Joe Biden and the Democrats today bragging that they started the investigations with these people for 90 Somalians is not going to do the job. Those were just the people you wanted to get rid of that were doing your bidding at one point. I want RICO charges. This is organized fucking crime, and it's happening everywhere. So I hope that's what comes out of this shit. Because, you know, if nobody on the bigger levels get arrested for this shit, I'm not going to believe it's going to be very hard to believe any story ever on YouTube, on anywhere. Right? Because, I mean, you look at this, what we saw there, and I've spoken to people that went there and confirmed what the hell this kid saw. And apparently this has been a known problem. But if nobody up top gets put in jail for this, then this is all a show. It's all a game. And caltrops, we have to ask those questions, and we cannot be fooled by any of this stuff. So listen, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for being with me. Please figure the fuck out of my like button. My like button loves the tip of your finger. And listen, I have a meeting, or I have an appointment to, I guess, set up this business like officially. So I guess it's not going to be a hobby anymore. This year, I'm going to be hoping if I have people that believe in this, I would love it if I could get $3, $6, $9 a month from you guys or something like that, to where I would love to be able to go out and it's like, hey, where do we want to send calories, and send me to different events. And I really want to go to different local town halls, local, school boards, local. I want to get into these type of places because my calling, I think, is going to be local. And I want to go out and I want to really make a difference in my community. And I want to make a difference in other people's communities. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you see this nationwide stuff, and the entire time these local stories are getting buried. And I have something that we're working on that I hope that you guys are going to be excited about. It's going to be worked on over this weekend. I'll give you a little hint because you're the people that I love. I'm not going to tell you who right now, but a YouTuber with over 9 million subscriptions got in touch with, Chris Pollock, right? So got in touch with Chris Pollock, and Chris Pollock, when you don't know people, like I'm just going to tell you something. You get a really good idea of people by their actions. And I didn't know Chris at first, and then I watched him, and I liked him more and more and more and more. But this big time guy gets in touch with Chris, and Chris said, hey, man, I can tell you a lot, but if you want to know about this other area, you're going to want to get in touch with Calories. And he immediately threw my name out there for this guy, and this guy got in touch with me. So it was one of the coolest things. It was one of the coolest things that I saw in a human being. That dude's he's such a good dude, and he won his election big time. You guys know that. If you don't know who he is, he was running for a local school position. I spoke at one of his events. But that was a good dude. But he's coming. This guy might be coming to town to do a story that I've been working on for a while, and it's pretty big because it's his gets, I don't know, 3 to 12 million views on everything he does. He is a very big name in that business. So it's if everything comes to fruition, of course, when he's supposed to come down, Jersey might get 44 inches of snow is what the Euro model was protected. 44 inches what the Euro model had the other day. Everyone at least has us in the 12 to 16 range. So we're going to see what happens with this this week. But listen, guys, I really appreciate it. That was like a little preview of what's to come. We have a lot of things in the works that are very, very big. And I really appreciate every single one of you guys. Really, I really do. So thank you very much. This cow drop is out.